Hello and welcome, beloveds, to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I'm reporting live and direct from a very cold Nairobi. I know I told you guys it was cold, and someone actually went and checked. I think it was only like 24 degrees Celsius, so they were laughing at me. But yo, for Nairobians, it's super cold right now. This is our quote unquote winter season. Thanks to every single person that supports us on our Patreon and our PayPal accounts, all our new Patreon supporters. We appreciate, love you. We wouldn't be able to do this show without you. Thanks to everyone that also sends us their donations through PayPal. I actually brought my phone just because so I could give you a few shout outs. Suddenly, Maita Crosby, thank you. Cinderella Handwich, Primary Instruction, Arnold Carrington, longtime supporter, thank you so much. Alonzo Horrington, Karim Swanson, Stephanie Gardiner, thank you, beloveds. Muturi Takada, Epic Uncommon History TV. Yo, what are you guys about? I love it. Carol Tia and Doron Tate, longtime supporter. Rebecca Spencer, Victor Odesanya. I will be sending out a special gift to each and every one of you for your donations. Appreciate, love you so much for that. Now, so much is happening across the world, the good, the bad, the ugly. And, you know, a couple of weeks, well, maybe a week ago, I reported about how the Belgian king had apologized for his great uncle's basically Holocaust in the Democratic Republic of Congo that cost 10 million lives. And, you know, it was the 60th anniversary of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and there had never been any kind of apology, any kind of, you know, no word on anything going on. And I also mentioned how the UN had actually told Belgium that they needed to confront their racist past because it has actually trickled into Belgian society today. And so, you know, Africans are still disadvantaged when it comes to education, when it comes to employment and many housing and many other things. And there's still that culture of racism because they still have this King Leopold the Butcher, you know, hanging and his statues. So maybe they were planning to apologize, maybe there wasn't, but there was so much pressure put on the Belgian kingdom. I didn't even know it was a kingdom, you know, following the George Floyd murder, and a lot of people were calling for them to apologize. And so they did apologize. But I told you, once the apology comes, we're going to ask for the money. And some minister and members of parliament in Kinshasa have actually called on reparations following the Belgian king's apology. He didn't fully apologize. He more like sent his regrets, as many of you pointed out. But the Democratic Republic of Congo, they've taken it as an apology. In fact, he was acknowledged by, you know, because in his letter he said, you know, I want to express my deepest regrets for those wounds of the past whose pain is reawakened today by the discrimination still present in our societies. This is what the words. But of course, Tisha Kedi, and I just found this out, he actually lived in Belgium in a self-imposed exile for many years before he returned to the Democratic Republic of Congo, basically ran for president and won. So, of course, you know, he may have an obtusely, you know, soft spot for the Belgian government. Will he really be able to do, because he was already praising them, you know, in a TV address on the eve of the 60th anniversary of independence. Tshisekedi actually paid tribute to Belgium. I mean, what's wrong with these leaders? Where he, you know, and he expressed, you know, how they were just happy to have gotten the response, you know, and honored, etc. How do you pay homage just because of a letter? You haven't even got money. He should have used that opportunity to now say, yes, thank you so much for your regrets, but now let's organize an international meeting when we can discuss the modalities of how much reparations are going to be paid over what period of time, etc., etc. But instead, he's busy paying homage because of a letter. You see how we celebrate small wins? We don't have the patience to wait it out for a big win, beloveds. It's so frustrating. And also the Democratic Republic of Congo Foreign Minister, she goes by Marine Tubanzeza, she said in a statement that the King's letter was balm to the heart of the Congolese, and this is a step forward that will boost friendly relations between our nations. But, in contrast, Kabila's a former spokesperson, and Kabila, someone called Lambert Mende, he said it's not enough to say, I feel regret. Exactly. It's not enough. And wasn't Kabila taken out? Anyway, those are stories for other days. And he went on to say, people should be willing to repair the damage in terms of investment and compensation with interest. That's what we expect from our Belgian partners. Exactly. And, at least some ministers have started to collect. And they also said, looted Congolese artifacts too should be returned. These are the things. This is what I said in the last broadcast. List what we want. We want our artifacts back. We want reparations in the form of investment, reparations with interest. So let's come up with a figure, add a little interest on it, and then now come up with a payment plan, just the way Africa has been perpetually paying Europe for the last 50 years in some kind of mad monopoly. I know these things are so depressing. And, Hervé Diakiese, he's a spokesperson of a citizen movement called Congolese Debut, which is basically Congolese Stand Up. And he said the monarch's letter was a step in the right direction, but this belated remorse can only be accepted after adequate reparations for these atrocities, which enabled the personal enrichment of Leopold II and his friends. Belgium's mischief-making after independence on June 30th, 1960 to control the DRC's minerals should also feature among reparation issues. There should be a reparation conference. I hope there will be. A reparation conference between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Belgium. But to my Congolese brothers and sisters out there, Tshisekedi may not be your man because he loves the Belgians. You need someone people need to start, people need to start electing leaders on these kind of agendas. Not the agenda of taking a begging bowl to Europe, but the agenda of taking reparations, reparation demands, and et cetera, of exposing, changing the education system so that our children and our children's children know the atrocities that their grandparents went through so that we could be living free today, and so that we recognize that freedom has not been won, but every generation must claim the freedom of their time. Tuko pamoja.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Hello and welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I pray you're well in all your ways and that you are living your best life. I pray that you're also just, connecting with other African brothers and sisters wherever you may be on this planet. We need each other. We need to start getting friendly with each other. Always remember, we've been made to, hate one another. We've been pitted against each other, but that doesn't have to be our reality because we are rewriting our narrative right here, right now. So exciting things happening. There's so much about the global awakening and unity of our African people. There's so many indicators if you know where to look. And one of the biggest indicators that happened last week is that the Democratic Republic of Congo actually applied for admission into the East African community. And, Congolese president, he's actually been on this whole, they're calling it a charm offensive. So he went to Kenya, he went to Uganda, he went to Rwanda, and most recently, he was actually in Tanzania. Part of the deal, they were talking bilateral agreements, of course, with Magufuli, and he also looked at the standard gauge railway, which would eventually, the Tanzanian standard gauge railway, which will eventually also service the Democratic Republic of Congo, because, the DRC, they have a very, very small coastal line in Kinshasa, like a very small coastline, but usually most of the movement of goods and services imports and exports either go through the Mombasa port in Kenya, or they go through the Dar es Salaam port. So we saw him visiting all these other nations, and then while he was on his state visit in Tanzania, he actually announced that the Democratic Republic of Congo had applied to join the East African community, and he had officially written to Kagame, who is the current chairman of the EAC, seeking to join the community, etc., etc., etc. You can see the letter right here. This is huge for the East African community bloc. In case you don't know, the East African community actually had 6 nations: Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and South Sudan. So first there was 3 sisters, right? Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. Then Rwanda and Burundi applied. Then South Sudan applied in 2016, which made them the 6 sisters. Now, Somalia had actually applied somewhere around 2016, 2017, but their their bid or their application was frozen for the time being because the East African community felt that Somalia was too unstable. But imagine, like, seriously, we need to welcome everybody